right, welcome back to Citizen Debates, and of course we are focusing on county number 32, Nakuru County today, and we've got 5 candidates here who want to lead that county, with one of course wanting to continue with the job that he has been doing. We've been focusing on the state of security in the county, but we want to switch gears now and focus on healthcare and hear what their plans are for healthcare for the 4th largest city in Kenya, and of course one of the fastest growing in the region as well. And Senator Kika, I'll start with you on that one and hear your plans on the health sector, bearing in mind we know that it has been occasioned by civil strife since the onset of devolution 10 years ago, challenges between the county government and nurses, and the formula of which the nurses should be contracted to do their work. How would your administration manage this particular situation moving forward? What are your plans for healthcare?
Oh, hi. I think you forgot that you had given me a minute to respond to what the governor has said, but if you want, I can proceed and just move on to the healthcare.
Can you do it in 30 seconds?
Yeah,
if possible. And
yeah,
then
I just wanted to make a quick comment there and say that I am a bit surprised that the governor is downplaying how serious security issues have been in the county. And I have previously said that our need for tourism cannot make us hide our heads in the sand. So, but the big issue or the driver to this insecurity has been the current administration's ineffectiveness or abandoning of the youth population in Nakuru and not empowering them at all. So when the governor talks about he will be having youth empowerment if he gets a second term, it's surprising for somebody who's already been there for 5 years. But let me pivot back to healthcare. Healthcare is one of actually my big agendas if I'm so lucky and the people of Nakuru County elect me as their governor. One, there has been massive failure of healthcare in Nakuru County, and it is no surprise. I have moved around the 55 wards. I have done meetings in the villages, and every place I have been to, there is an outcry of no drugs in any of the hospitals across Nakuru. And most people will tell you that they get Panadol or Piriton. That is all they get after lining up for hours, and then they are given a prescription to go buy medicine in some chemist. But however, my plan will be, first of all, to make sure that all the existing healthcare facilities are adequately completed for those that are lying incomplete. Mm-hmm. For those that are already complete, probably increase their capacities, be it the beds, maternity facilities, like I was in Kandutura Visoi ward in Rongai just yesterday, mm-hmm. and you find there's a maternity there that only operates between 8 to 5 on Monday to Friday. So that is a bit crazy. I would want it to operate 24 hours a day. So make sure there's drugs. And
a bit later on, I'll give you a chance to shed a bit more light on your healthcare plan. But let me also allow Dr. Karanja to also share his thoughts, his plan for healthcare, should he be the next CEO of Nakuru County.
Being the next CEO of Nakuru County, mm-hmm. matters of health, they need a lot of understanding and appreciating that drugs cannot be bought by just a procurement person. And a procurement person who mostly is on an acting capacity. That you create room for manipulation and funds embezzlement in the health sector. That's one critical area that we need to know. We need to have the right people. We need to have the proper human resources to be able to do proper works in the health sector and across the county. That's number one. Number two, we need to understand the epidemiological patterns, disease patterns of our entire county. What are the biggest challenges we're having? HIV and AIDS. Even the youth 16 to 24 years, they are not getting good placed hospital setups where all hospitals, the governor said gestation development is 10 years. So it means buildings are not yet done. So they are hanging, they are somewhere until when he gets, but when getting the opportunity, I'll finish them within the first year. I know what to do. So,
katika hilo swala, katika mahojiano ya awali, ulikuwa umezungumzia kwamba unapinga swala la wafanyikazi wa afya kuajiriwa kupitia kandarasi na sio wa kudumu. Hebu tueleze, iwapo utapatiwa nafasi hiyo, utafanya nini ili kuhakikisha kwamba wahudumu wa afya wanahisi kwamba mazingira yao ya kazi yako sawa?
Kapombe, nadhani umeuliza swali lingine, nimalize la kwanza nijibu hilo.
Ni hilo kuhusiana na afya.
Haya, ni la afya, lakini nakuelewa. Thought process huwa inaenda namna hiyo. Nimesema mambo epidemiological disease patterns vile zinafaa kuwa mapped. Na tutumie teknolojia kujua ni area gani iko na shida gani. Tuangalie mambo ya HIV, AIDS na ina affect watu wengi sahi between ages 16 to 24. We need to have hospital setups which are very appealing to the youth that they can go there for counseling and HIV testing and guidance. That is number 2. Tuangalie maneno ya maji vile affect mambo ya diarrhea in Nakuru, which we also need to sort that. Mambo hiyo swali umeuliza Mashirima.
I'll give you 20 seconds for that.
Thank you. Ukikuwa na mtu ako katika contract na ndiye ananunua dawa KEMSA, atanunua dawa, atanunua PPE, ataelewa cycle ya procurement. Nafikiri unaielewa hayo.
Naam, bila shaka. Bwana Nicholas Munywa, wewe utafanya nini kuhakikisha kwamba wakazi wa Nakuru wanapata afya bora na pia wale wahudumu wa afya wanajihisi kwamba wanathaminiwa?
Thank you. Before I get to that, let me quickly respond to what our current governor said. He admitted that we need economic empowerment for our people not to be poor, and he should stop saying it is just other killing like any other place in Mathare. Remember, these are families affected, people who have lost the lives of their members of family. So let us not be casual about this issue of security. And if there are politicians involved, I kindly request the governor to mention them by name. Nobody is above the law in this country. On matters of health, I will make sure in the 11 constituencies, we have at least hospitals that are level 4 status in the 11 sub-counties. In the 55 wards, I will make sure that we have at least a dispensary that is fully stocked with drugs. Actually, the case of Nakuru as we stand, the last supply of drugs was done on 28th of May 2021. We've not been having drugs in Nakuru, while we have cases on the report of the controller of budget of Nakuru County returning money.
The current governor is looking at you as if he doesn't fully believe.
The controller of budget. What does it?
He doesn't fully believe your statement that 2021, that date you mentioned, is the last date.
It is there. It is in the public domain. I'm interacting with medics in Nakuru. This I'm not saying on top of my head. I wish I had invited a medic to be among my guests. There are no drugs in Nakuru. You have heard the current senator say this. Why should we hide our heads on the... He's busy building a skyscraper in Nakuru, PGH, instead of putting drugs in the dispensaries. We do not need the skyscrapers to assure health.
We'll allow him a chance to respond to that immediately after this. But first, of course, I need to allow Elijah Karanja to also weigh in on this. Elijah, we know one of the challenges of Nakuru from a disease burden perspective is sanitation, and we are told 80% of the health challenges is linked with sanitation. Specific areas are Rongai, Kiamunyi, parts of Njoro, where we receive reports even today from residents that water access is a challenge. Talk to us about how you'd bridge that gap between health and water access should you be the next governor.
First of all, as a governor in healthcare, I want to enhance universal healthcare, and this is how I'll do it. I want to eliminate the charges we charge Boda Boda, which is about 3,500 every year, and Mamba Boga. Any license that is beyond 5,000 will be eliminated. And then we will make them, in that respect, to have National Hospital Insurance Fund card as the operating license. If we do that, we will move NHIF coverage or insurance, health insurance, from 30% right now to 50%. So we'll be able to cover that. The issue of drugs, I also want to encourage cottage industries in all the hospitals that has been built. We can manufacture drugs like painkillers. We can also have like PPEs. We don't have to import that. We can manufacture that in Nakuru County. By doing that, we'll make sure we don't have to wait for KEMSA bureaucracy and corruption to give us drugs. We can have our own drugs, and then we can import the ones we don't have capacity as we build capacity, because I believe we can do it, we can manufacture, we can build, we have the capacity, but we need to try. In the issue of water, I know areas like you say in sanitation. In Nakuru County, I want to divide it so that we can also do what we can call divide sewage into areas so that it's not centralized, so that we can manage sewage, so that we can also afford people, give them water. And also, it's very important to learn how to harvest rainwater. So we're going to give people tanks and gutters to harvest rainwater so that rainwater does not have fluoride and is not contaminated.
Na kwa sekunde 30 make kuna jambo ambalo umesema kuhusiana na kutafuta dawa kwingineko sio kupitia KEMSA. Tena ukisema kwamba Nakuru utahakikisha kwamba mtakuwa mnatengeneza dawa wenyewe. Kwa sekunde 30 labda unaweza kutufafanulia zaidi na ni muda gani ambao utachukua kuweza kufanikisha haya?
Okay, cottage industries are industries that are not expensive. Those are industries that we can harness even in area of job employment. They exist. Most of these drug manufacturing, even if you go to India, you find a cottage industry that is manufacturing generic drugs costing like 3 million shillings. Those are things, machines we can bring here and start manufacturing so that we can be able to remove our people from the bottlenecks of the bureaucracy of KEMSA. And we will do the research, necessary research. We will use the laws necessary. We will talk to all the county leadership so that we can have that into law.
Thank you. I'll have to interrupt you there. When I come back, I will want to hear how you'll fund all those plans that you've mentioned. Okay. But let me allow Governor Kinyanjui to also respond to this. Governor, how far would you say you are in the fulfillment of healthcare priorities as per the CIDP plan 2018-2019 to 2022-2023? Very ambitious plans, some of which has been cited by your competitors as not having been achieved.
Yeah, first I think for a sitting governor to have the same time as those who are all, making allegations and have nothing to report is also a bit unfair, because I have to give correct, then I give you my vision. But nevertheless,
I'll add you 30 seconds. So
I want to say
Go ahead.
that Nakuru has been voted the best in healthcare for the last 2 years consecutively. If it was voted the best in healthcare, I don't understand how it would be the poorest. We have no single shilling owing to KEMSA. We are one among 2 counties that don't owe KEMSA for any drugs. For my brother to say that the last time the drugs were bought was in May 2021, I leave it to the public to make that judgment. Then secondly, is that also it is important to know that Nakuru has made very great strides. They are calling them skyscrapers and all that, but the point is, we have a hospital in Maimahio for 150 million shillings. It is complete, awaiting equipping and staffing. In Naivasha, we have partnered with Kengen to do a 330 million hospital, awaiting equipping and staffing. In Gilgil, we've already done a hospital that's a maternity. Now we want to commission it and also do a mental section within that hospital. Within PGH, we have built a hospital for about 750 million using county resources. And the same in Joro, the same in Molo, the same in Olenguruni. And in Bahati, we were partnering with another entity that is working with that from the faith-based. And in Subukia, we have put a budget of 150 million shillings. So I think it's also good to put things in perspective and also to understand, for those who are seeking votes, there is no way they will say the truth. They have to paint it black so that they look white. But for patients who go to our hospitals, our visitations have gone up by more than double. We would not be getting patients from all the counties around us if we were not doing our job.
Naam, ili kuendeleza mada hii ya afya, na kwa sababu wewe ndio gavana ulioko, kuna swala la kuajiri wahudumu wa afya kupitia kandarasi, kisha baada ya miaka miwili wanapatiwa kandarasi za kudumu. Hii hali imekuwaje? Wahudumu wa afya saizi wana raha?
Aya, sasa kwanza, it's good to note that we are driven not by who is happy and who is not happy, but by productivity. As a governor, I'm on contract. My MCAs are on contract for 5 years. Even you, the journalists here, you're on contract. So what the biggest problem in healthcare is that we would employ everybody on permanent and pensionable. The first thing they do is to plan for the next strike. When they all go on strike, our hospitals are paralyzed. But when you have a ratio of half of them are on contract, half of them are on permanent, those who are on contract must continue going. I want to assure you this. If there was a nationwide strike today, Nakuru would still operate all its health centers. Maybe not optimally, but they would all operate. So we have to do that in the best interest of our healthcare. And also to note this, that we have lost people, including our own relatives, when the doctors go on strike. So what do? We have to look for a management solution to ensure that at no time will we lose any life. So to come here and want to make populist remarks and make everybody permanent, you must also remember there's a background. And even the top hospitals, Aga Khan, MPSHA, all of them, everybody's on contract. That is how the world is going for productivity.
Point. And I think we've given you more than adequate time to defend yourself. Okay, Senator, we do need to take a break. I can give you 30 seconds if it's a brief
Sure.
comment, then we take that break.
Yes, please. Oh, after we come back or now?
You can
Sasa.
take it now, so
Okay.
that we switch.
First, I want the people of Nakuru, specifically the voters and residents of Nakuru, to now see and contrast my leadership, were they to elect me as their governor, as compared with that of the sitting governor. I have a very different approach, or I would have a very different approach to that of the healthcare workers. If they elected me governor, I would make all those healthcare workers on contract permanent and pensionable. And I believe it is doable, and I would do it in the first 100 days. I do not believe that the fear of strikes should be used against those healthcare workers to deny them permanent status in the county.
Naam, asante sana Bi Susan Kihika ambaye ni seneta wa sasa wa kaunti ya Nakuru. Tunazidi tu kuangazia masuala mbalimbali katika kaunti ya Nakuru. Kumbuka, kama unataka kushiriki ama una swali ambalo ungependa wagombeaji hii leo waweze kulijibu, liulize kupitia nambari arafa ya nambari 22422 au kupitia mitandao ya kijamii ukitumia alama ya reli Citizen Debates. Usiondoke hapo ulipo.
Jijenge Credit Limited offers you logbook loans in 1 hour at low interest rates. No age or model restrictions. Get a logbook loan and continue driving your car. Jijenge Credit, empowering your business.
Nimeamka na confidence, no worries, no leakages. Could concentrate the impossible. Everything is doable. Yeah, so fit, so right, so fit, so right, so fit, so right. Soft care, so fit, so right.
Soft Care Petal Care has a floating design that perfectly fits. It reduces 70% friction on skin, absorbs fully, and blocks leakages from both sides.
Soft care, yeah.
Madam, unanukia poa kama asubuhi fiti.
Juu with new Ariel Lavender, nitabaki fresh siku nzima, msafi na mwenye harufu ya kuvutia.
Yani ni usiku na bado unanukia vizuri tu kama ngware.
Unasema nini wewe?
Wakati hapo unaweza nitia Abdi umwambie kuja nifungulie and then tushughulishe hii mambo mengine.
Hata machuzi yako ya mamba mia ndialishi.
Have doodles taken over your home?
Nimepata vitu tamtamu.
Get Bolt and get your home back. Unlike other insecticides made from toxic synthetic pyrethroids, Bolt is made from 100% natural Kenyan pyrethrum, making it gentle on you but deadly on flying and crawling insects. When doo-doo strike, stop them dead. Get Bolt insecticide today.
You know why Fanta goes really great with snacks? Because just like Fanta, snacking is colorful. Snacking isn't formal, which means no knives and forks. You don't even need to book a table for snacking. In fact, you don't need a table at all. Snacking is comfy and playful. Snacking is a tasty treat. That's why snacking is colorful. Snack with Fanta.
Available at Chandarana supermarkets and a pharmacy near you.
Dhuluma ya kimapenzi inaweza kuathiri mtu yeyote, wakiwemo wakimbizi, na hivyo kujenga hali ya kukosa matumaini na kukata tamaa ya maisha. Tukomeshe dhuluma za kimapenzi na tuwalinde wanawake na wasichana wetu.
Nasi hapa kwenye Citizen Debate tukiwa tunaangazia kaunti ya Nakuru, na kabla ya kuelekea katika mada nyingine, Bi Kihika, kuna wale ambao wanauliza hapa, umekuwa seneta katika kaunti ya Nakuru, je, kwa nini hukuwatetea wahudumu wa afya wakati huo vilivyo?
Actually, I have always raised my voice as far as that, because I do not believe that a workforce that is not taken care of can really deliver to the people of Nakuru properly. They need to feel happy in their jobs. But as a senator, as much as I raised my voice on it, only the governor could really implement anything else beyond the contracts. And that is why I'm saying to the people of Nakuru, give me a chance, give me the job to be a governor. And in my first 100 days, the health workers on county contract, I will make them permanent and pensionable.
Have you already factored in the budget to do that?
Yes.
And is there money for that?
What we would do, right now, there has been very many of them retiring in the last few years. Actually, in the last 5 years, we have had about 40% retire. Cumulatively, in the last 10 years, about 60% have retired. So what I'm saying is, when they retire, we have not been replacing them with permanent employees. We replace them with ones on contract. And if you do the math, by the time they're retiring, having gone up the career progression, they probably earn double what you would pay those who would be coming in on or as permanent. So the money would be available to make it happen.
Okay.
And I believe if they're happy and they are satisfied with their jobs, there would be no strikes, as we are being told, as a way to keep them away from being permanent.
Okay, thank you so much. Dr. Karanja, same question to you, but the governor has stated that the picture you paint of healthcare in Nakuru is very different from the one he knows as the leader of the county. I want to give you a chance to just briefly respond to that.
Thank you. I'll ask him to go and check 2018-2019 budget. There was 380 million that was meant for promotions of health workers in Nakuru. It was done the other day in a different year, not of that budget. Where did that money go? Number one. Number two, people in Nakuru County, they are not happy. Not only health workers, total county staff. When is the last time he met and being the CEO, he met the people of Nakuru County? Now during elections, now that's the things have started happening. So as he says, we are in the county and we're interacting and we know. And by the way, I'm a consultant in this game. So when I say something, it should not be easy to say. It's just matters of looking for votes. Speak facts. 380 million. Where did that money disappear to? 2018, 2019 budgets.
No.
In my Mahio, what he said he has done, that money was meant for PPE. How was it reallocated? And there is government procedures, protocols to be followed. And the issue I had raised again, the issue of acting capacity of procurement people, centralized again, whereby they have no power to even make any decision, but only to follow the instructions of the cronies.
I'll have to stop you there, Daktari. Thank you so much for your time.
Nadhani Bwana Lee, kwa sababu ametajwa sana na Bwana Daktari Stanley, anapaswa kujibu yale maswali ambayo yameulizwa.
Asante. Kwanza ni kweli kwamba hospitali ya Mai Mahiu tulijenga na pesa ambazo zilikuwa zinapaswa kununua PPE. Lakini nimkumbushe, kama tungenunua PPE, would have nothing to show today. So Nakuru County is the only county that did a project that will be seen for the next 20 years. So I think sometimes prudence is just about doing that which will change the face of people even in another 30 years. I'm sorry, instead of buying PPEs, we have put a building that will house over 150 patients. Then the other thing is, when did we last meet our healthcare people? I think it's also good to give some of my colleagues an open day to see how the county is run. because some of the things they are saying are ridiculous. We meet with the healthcare people every now and then. Management boards, the CEC, we are in touch with them. So I think sometimes I'm sure some of the people from Nakuru listening to this would imagine we are talking of a different county. And then lastly, you cannot run health politically. When you're running healthcare, you must run it as any other business entity, so that it is, it is one that is sustaining. But you cannot now say, I want the votes of these people, I make this decision. I make this, you'll make all those decisions. A strike is called, all the hospitals are at a standstill.
Thank you so much, Governor. I want us to switch to agriculture, but let me allow final thoughts on health. Elijah, starting with you, in your first 100 days in office, should... And I'm coming to you, don't worry. I still see you, sir, very well. In your first 100 days in office, what would you do to show that you're prioritizing healthcare with some of the concerns that you're hearing from the candidates?
Okay, what I think is healthcare issue is about finance, because we don't collect enough money in Nakuru County. We need to increase the pie. But there's one company I want to squeeze in Nakuru called Kengen. Kengen made a pre-tax profit of 15 billion last year. But I don't know whether Kengen, apart from the 100 million probably they gave to Naivasha, I want to claim 30% of our money in Nakuru County from Kengen. If I can do that, I'll be able to bring nurses, pay them permanent and pensionable. And I'll make sure, like I was saying, the cottage industries will be established and we will bring jobs to our young men and women.
And yet you want to reduce or eradicate licenses and increase the pie at the same time.
Absolutely, that's a lot of money.
How will you do both?
Look at it this way, if you do your maths. I said 15 billion pre-tax. What I'll do to them, I'll not allow them to pay our money after taxes. I'll insist they pay us as a liability pre-tax. So they're going to give us 4 billion. So if you're talking about 4 billion, what I said, if I cut the license money from the small border and mama boga, that's 1 billion shillings. So I remain with 3 billion shillings to do that. So I'm sure the money is there. We need to go after the money. And the companies, especially Kengen, that is making billions in Nakuru County. And if you go to their parking lot, you think you're in Bavaria, Germany, because they have the top of range vehicles.
Okay.
I'll not allow that.
I think you've made your point clearly. Nicholas, let's get your final word from this. Healthcare, first 100 days in office. Should you be the next governor? What would you do?
First 100 days in office. This report that I'm carrying here is a report from the Auditor General of year 2020. And among the areas that he pinpointed was irregular variation of prices by Kenya Medical Supplies Authority, KEMSA. So, as I said, there are systematic failures in health in regard to the current administration, which I will need to correct the first 100 days. Number two, we are not being political about running issues of health. We are on facts, and this is why I'm quoting this report. Number three, I will echo the same as our senator said, that we should put our employees in permanent and pensionable basis. We start with the dispensaries up to level 6 hospital, because it is doable. The Auditor General report is showing that our internal generated revenue has not been corrected well in Nakuru. So when we correct our internally generated revenue well, we shall sustain health in Nakuru County.
Naam, asante sana. Hebu sasa tuangazie maswala ya kilimo katika kaunti ya Nakuru na tuanze na wewe Bi Kihika, kuhusiana na kaunti ya Nakuru. Katika bajeti mbili zilizopita za kaunti ya Nakuru, zile pesa ambazo zilitengewa swala la kilimo ni 10%, kitu ambacho ni tofauti na maazimio ya Maputo. Wewe utafanya nini ili kuhakikisha kwamba kuna mgao wa fedha unaohitajika katika kilimo ili kuwainua wananchi wa kaunti ya Nakuru?
I will very briefly first go back real quick for about 10 seconds and tell you what I had not said about the first 100 days as far as healthcare. One, I had said would make the workers on contract be permanent and pensionable, but also would make sure that I promote all the healthcare workers who are due for promotion. In the current, in the year, the budget year 2018-2019, yes, the county government had put 380 million for promotions, but they then reallocated it, and until now, none of that has been been done. So I would do that. I would also allow those who want to be redesignated to do the same. And as I finish on that, I would also want to comment on the governor saying that they diverted the money for PPEs to build a hospital, to show how little he cares about healthcare workers in Nakuru County. When healthcare workers were dying of corona in the hospitals, they were not able to attend people with the equipment.
You were just supposed to make a brief point. Now you're going to force us to allow him to respond.
So they should have had the PPEs to protect the healthcare workers.
Okay.
On agriculture, I believe that agriculture is the backbone of Nakuru County. One of the very major things that really would help reawaken the economy of Nakuru County. So I would make sure that we have enough budget so that I'm able to support the workers. I do have, and I believe hopefully I will have a few minutes to talk about it, a fund that would help the workers be able to access subsidized farm inputs, such as fertilizers, such as reorganize them into cooperatives so that they are able to get better money for their products.
Okay.
And this would also happen by reallocating more money to agriculture.
We'll give you a chance to talk about the fund a bit later on, but let me allow Dr. Karanja now to weigh in. Daktari, we are told that in Nakuru County, the food poverty estimate per individual, this is data from ISPAC, is 19.6%. In a nutshell, in a county whose main economic activity is agriculture, why would we have food-poor households today?
Because it's purely about management, inspiring the people, inspiring the sector. This is Thursday. I was in a place called Mayala, Ndabibi. That area, there's total crop failure. 15 years ago, my Mahio, Longonot area, there used to be wheat farming. What happened? Good soil, no water. I will invest in water, particularly from Lake Naivasha. If water from Lake Naivasha is doing flower farming, our local people should also get access to this water, and we do. We pump water on top of Mount Longonot. Then via gravity, we will farm the entire of the Longonot area, the entire of Ndafifi area, that is Mayala side, because it's pure lack of water. We must appreciate this climate change now, and we have water in Lake Naivasha. The same concept, we shall pump water again. Like now, there's a concept which is done by Kengen, which is commendable from Kengen. They have pumped water which is being used at Eburu tops, whereby the people are getting water pumped from Lake Naivasha. The same water we can pump enough, and it will go to Gilgil. So that is one place. It's all about water. How do we get water? We'll get drillers and tankers, those which we have to take the tanks up, and have 11 for each sub-county. Just have 5 boreholes, which are complete. It's a cost of 15 million to do a complete borehole. And in fact, you add another 5 million, it will be solarized. Okay. And we can be able to change food production in Nakuru, because the biggest problem is water. Okay. We get water, and we always say water is life.
Thank you. I know we're in the midst of a very important topic, but allow me to take a short break. When I come back, Pona Nicholas Wayaki, you'll be up next to talk about your plans for the agricultural sector. You're watching Citizen Debates. Stay with us. Thank you for your feedback, and we'll be reading a bit of it on the other side. But for now, let's take a short break.